Welcome everyone. In this video, we are going to look quickly into the state of precision oncology. We did this, a few days ago with a focus on pharma and targeted treatments and how this can change cancer care at large. This video will take a hospital perspective because hospitals are the places where this all needs to happen and where new infrastructure will unlock a new age of precision medicine. Before we jump into that, what is precision oncology? Precision oncology is the application of targeted treatments in cancer care that are proven by the FDA and by many other studies to extend and protect patient lives much better than conventional chemo treatments. Precision oncology, in order to be applied in nearly all cases or in the vast majority of cases, needs something called genomic biomarkers. So you need to test tumor tissue, sometimes beyond tumor tissue, for certain biomarkers from specific genes like EGFR, BRAF, or ALK to more general markers like tumor mutational burden in order to pick and choose the right targeted treatment for that specific patient, because pharma has figured out ways to target these specific protein expressions or whatever the case is for the marker. Now, the good news is that we made tremendous progress and we're in the middle of making more progress to deploy life-saving, targeted, personalized treatments to patients in terms of capabilities. The bad news is, and now I want to introduce a chart here, that the vast majority of qualifying US cancer patients do not get life-saving complete genomic profiling, which is a genomic testing modality that is necessary. And the reason for that is complexity. We will get into this in a second. But out of 950,000 cancer patients in the United States, roughly 50% of all cancer patients who need that and who are covered by insurance for getting tested, over 80% are not getting this in time or at all. And even if they get it, here's the next problem in the funnel to actually cover that patient population. Decision support systems are missing, which means oncologists get very complicated results and can't translate them effectively into the accurate treatment. So we need better decision support systems. And the bottom line here is that we only use life-saving targeted treatments on 10% of the population that actually needs it. That is the biggest opportunity in oncology to move the needle in medicine. And when you look at the current state, why this is such a big problem, on the bottom here, you see all these complicated things you need for precision oncology. You need to understand guidelines, you need to understand CDX testing, you need to understand very complicated genomics, you have to have the latest decision support systems, implement new workflows, and so on and so forth. On the top, you see the hospitals. And I put just some of the largest oncology groups in there. And, normally a hospital is represented by medical leadership and, of course, by administrative leadership. And what the medical leadership really wants is improved outcomes. And what the administrative leadership wants is they want to have enough budgets to run the hospital. Now, there's a disconnect here. The infrastructure to structure all these complicated things into something that can address these two problems in the hospital is missing. And all they see is chaos and confusion. That's why nothing is happening. And the assumption that it will take decades to fix this, right? People think, well, infrastructure, sure, we understand all these problems. It's going to take very long for the hospitals to figure all that out and implement all the systems and train their oncologists and so on and so forth. Extreme complexity clinically, technically, and so on, with a messy testing and genomics market. And the biggest problem, hospitals don't even have money for this whole operation. It costs a lot of money to do this. So why do I think this is going to change now? Well, we are working on some very cool things here, and I know other people are working on it too, that are changing this entire dynamic a lot. And that will happen in 2025, in the first scaled model. And what that is what we call turnkey genomics solutions. Now, the idea of turnkey genomics solutions for hospitals is the recognition that all that stuff at the bottom is too complicated for hospital leadership to understand or implement. And so new providers that focus only on that turnkey solution layer come in and offer hospitals these solutions. And these solutions bring structure, patient management, right? Genomics and CDX labs that are built inside the hospitals, and that then allow to bill insurance and bring all the genomics revenue inside the hospital, and then on top build the decision support systems in oncology to make it all work. And the advantage here is that this goes then beyond all these sales reps down here running to someone in the hospital and trying to sell their stuff. into a C-level priority and hospital catalysts. So what do I mean with that? Turnkey genomics generate significant margins for hospitals immediately. And we are talking about roughly $15 million in margin over 5 years for a 1 million patient hospital, assuming certain standard ratios from patients to cancer patients, all fully reimbursed. So that becomes a C-level priority. If you know anything about hospital economics, $3 million and 100% margin, operating margin expansion per year per 1 million patients gets you CEO attention, because that is very important for hospitals. Second, this is a boost to oncology excellence, which is very important because, again, if you understand hospital economics, oncology is the moneymaker. Oncology is the reason most hospitals can even operate nowadays. So the expansion of oncology and being competitive with excellent oncology offerings is super important for hospitals. Now, once you bring in a turnkey genomics solution, you catapult yourself into the top 5, top 1% of oncology hospitals in the nation. And in reverse, once turnkey solutions in genomics become more widespread, you don't have a choice, because not doing it gives you a regional competitor, a 2, 3, 4x advantage over you in terms of precision oncology coverage. So you can't stand on the sidelines. So this is a big forcing function. I always say the 15 million is the carrot and the oncology competition is the stick. You need the money, and if you don't take it, you have a problem because you get knocked out by your competitors and lose your oncology division over time. And then third, the most strategic piece, data and AI unlock. Genomics, turnkey genomics are also the key to unlock research revenue, to get to multiply the patient data by roughly 4 times total data size for each patient in your hospital that is a cancer patient. And you're unlocking, of course, artificial intelligence. So the third point is a little more strategic, but also important. What does this all do to the industry that we have these turnkey solutions now coming in? It means that formerly separated areas here, the precision oncology field, which is mostly pharma with these amazing new capabilities, that was disconnected from deployment, from broad, deep deployment in the cancer oncology hospital space, now gets translated with turnkey genomics, where now the deployment mechanism becomes a real in-hospital infrastructure, that we get a budget of $1.4 billion. The 1.4 billion is the amount of annual margin we can generate for hospitals nationwide if we would implement that. And from a very strategic level, that means imagine your precision oncology suppliers, like down here, pharma, but also genomics, and you get 1.4 billion basically financed by Medicare, financed by commercial insurance, already decided that this is all reimbursed on the testing level, and you can shift that amount of margin inside the hospitals to allow the hospitals to hire the right people, to build out the right programs, to implement precision oncology deep inside the infrastructure. That's what makes the difference and gets us to the patients. Now, what's the state of the entire thing? Here I quickly describe what the effect could be. I think we could achieve 5 times precision oncology coverage within the next 10 years in the United States. That's a very big number. That means you can reach 5 times the amount of patients with targeted treatments, personalized treatments, over the next 10 years. That would be the biggest game changer in medical oncology. Now, the timeline for this whole operation is that we are now looking at rolling out the first model hospital in 2025 with 3,000 cancer patients. And first step, not the first step, but the current step is decision support input. We are building a precision oncology expert board, so we make sure that not just the laboratories work, but that the interpretation into actual best practice personalized treatments happens. Probably in Q2 2025, we will have the starting point, then all the labs are implemented, and we can actually start clinical rollout. The objective here is be very metrics focused and make sure out of these 3,000 cancer patients, the percentage of potential patients covered is systematically increased. So if you have 3,000 cancer patients, 1,500 roughly qualify for advanced genomic testing, and then the positives qualify for targeted treatments. Let's assume of the 1,500, 300 are currently fully covered. can we increase this to 600, for example? Or if 600 or 500 are covered, can we increase it by 50% to 750? These are the metrics that are important to see, can we actually improve precision oncology for the entire population, and how much and what amount of time. And I think in 2026, we will have enough data to then engage in a rapid expansion, 10x the patient universe to 30,000 cancer patients. And then we are off to the races. Hopefully in 5 years, we can get it to 300,000 total patient universe covered by full-on precision oncology infrastructure in the United States. I'm incredibly passionate about this. I believe by doing that, by creating turnkey solutions that shift more budgets inside the hospitals very quickly, incentivize the hospitals to deploy targeted treatments to more patients with a deep structural incentive to do so, is the key to see the biggest leap forward in precision oncology and personalized treatments that we have ever seen. This is so important because we have to understand, besides all the amazing new innovation that is coming or that is currently constantly produced, the real problem in oncology is that all the innovation we already have that is fully reimbursed, where we understand exactly what to do, at least in theory, isn't getting to patients. And that's getting back to my first chart, and this is where I want to end it. We have to understand what this chart here means. We have to understand that despite all of that already being in place with legislation, with coverage decisions, with everything, only 10% of US patients get all these amazing new technologies because it's too complicated. And with turnkey solutions, I think we will see a massive, massive shift. So I hope you enjoyed that. I always say, we have tremendous viewerships here, tremendous intelligence and expertise with you guys. So anything you want to comment here or, inform me where I was wrong maybe on numbers, please let me know. Please throw it into the comments. I always learn from this feedback and the discussions I see. So I welcome that. Feel free to reach out to me and let's have a discussion how we make this happen as fast as possible. Thank you.